Although this introduction was written this week, most of you all do not know that it was actually planned out 4 years ago. Way back then, young freshman Nick White and I watched our first senior speech together and vowed to introduce each other when the time would come 4 years later. Now, unfortunately, Nick has not lived a high school life committing heinous crimes that I can bring up right now to roast him, but I think I can still find something to speak about. The origins of our friendship trace back to kindergarten orientation, where we had our first conversation discussing the kids' pics I was playing on the computer. Thankfully, that friendship continued for 13 more years and led to an uncountable number of memories that I will never forget. Being 7 years old, running through a frigid downtown Indianapolis late at night, shouting to everyone we passed about how hot it was outside is one of my favorites. Or maybe just having you with me to fight back against the Mr. Travis no fun zone all year here at the US. I could go on all day about the times we've had together, but after all, this is your speech. Before I go, I just want to thank you and your family for being a second home to me over the years, and for you to know that even though you like to joke about it, we will always be great friends no matter where we go to college. Because I don't know how I can find someone else with whom I could exchange Anchorman quotes with and discuss the multiple possible endings to Inception. I love you, man, and I know you'll kill it on your speech.
I would first like to start off by saying I had 6 different ideas for my speech, 4 of which I wrote out. This is the first one I wrote out, and I eventually stuck with it because I thought it was the most important to me. So here goes. As a senior, to graduate, you must stand and present a speech. The day people decide their speech dates, they also carefully consider another part. The introduction is thought by many students to be just as important as the speech itself. So with that in mind, I decided not to write a speech. This speech has become something different entirely. This speech is not about me, it is about some special people in this room. The faculty here at Collegiate have helped shape me into the person standing in front of you today. That's right, teachers, you have no one to blame but yourselves. But in all seriousness, many in this room have taught me lessons that extend beyond the textbooks and quizzes, but for life in general. The close community Collegiate has created allows me to know my teachers better, and them to know me more personally as well. Almost every faculty member in the high school has taught me in some way, but today, because I only have so much time, I wanted to share just a few who have truly impacted me for the better. I hope to spread a little of what they have taught me to you all. To keep the audience involved, I have decided to let you play along with me. These introductions of teachers have been set up as almost Guess Who games, with the name being revealed at the end. So, to begin my speech, introducing these teachers is Nick White. This first teacher had the difficult task of dealing with me for 2 years in a row. Although it was not my favorite subject, he made me really enjoy going to class, forcing me to think outside the box and to express myself both aloud in class discussions and on paper. He, as an English teacher, taught me a lesson that I hope I will remember when I'm older and in the workforce. It does not matter what job you technically have. You can always be a writer as well. You can be a mathematician and still be a poet. You can be a scientist and still be a novelist. It was fun reading my now favorite books in class, and even if I didn't enjoy a particular book, you found a way to keep me engaged and interested. For example, I now know almost everything can be related back to Life of Pi. Thank you for making world literature and American literature such great learning experiences, Mr. Rich. The next teacher has most likely seen every side of me, and for that, I apologize. That being said, when I had this teacher freshman year, I knew I was lucky to have her. She has high standards for me and always pushes me to do my best, so I would like to thank her. Although I complain, and you have to hear it all the time, you always keep it on the lighter side and allow me to look on the bright side of life. She always keeps me entertained, and I love having her shoot sarcastic remarks right back at me. Whenever I hear her say, "Oh, you mean you actually have to think?" Or, "You mean you have to learn something? Poor you." I know that she really means it all out of love, or at least I hope she does. Mrs. Brundage, not only was it great to have you as a teacher freshman year, but I'm also so glad I get to see you every week for advisory meetings. Thank you for always being there for me and teaching me you can actually enjoy learning. Speaking of sarcastic, this next teacher could possibly have it running through their blood. He has pushed me every time I've entered his room to rely on myself, and that is a huge tool for me in the future. He teaches me concepts, but makes me take those and use them to develop different ideas towards more compelling questions. Using the historical timeline you memorized from the night before will not help you in his class. You must be able to explain why one specific event had the effect it did. This teacher is sometimes feared, although mostly by freshmen. Admittingly, I too was afraid of him because I heard the rumors. For example, he does not believe in giving A's. Having talked to him almost every day after class since the beginning of last year, I can honestly say he shouldn't be feared. Mr. Travis's nickname, Sunshine, really does represent him well. Hearing a daily, "Nice," or "See you tomorrow, Mr. Travis," "Hope so," hearing that from him makes me laugh every time. He has become a teacher I've gained a lot of respect for over my years at Collegiate. I'm glad to introduce the next teacher as one who I've learned is a great person to be around, although many of you might not know it. Also courageously staying on as a teacher at Collegiate, after seeing me sign up for another one of his classes. He has taught me so much in 2 years. His sarcastic answers to your questions that leave you feeling hopeless actually give me a feeling that I think we don't receive enough. When this teacher doesn't give me a straight answer, I feel his belief in me. He honestly believes that I can solve the problem, some of which are the hardest I have ever faced in a collegiate class. He always keeps his classes fun. His jokes often have me laughing throughout the rest of the day. You know you cannot help but smile when you hear the trademark, interesting. Although some of you may think Mr. Stern is quiet, I am thankful to have conversations with him throughout the school days. Mr. Stern, thank you for challenging me throughout my time in your classes while still managing to keep a smile on my face. This teacher I had known for many years before entering the high school, and I am so grateful for that. I was lucky to have this teacher for 2 years in one of my favorite subjects. She is one of the nicest people I've ever met. She is understanding and always lets me talk to her if I have a problem. This year she has kept her door open for not only me, but all seniors to come rant about their stress levels dealing with applying to college, sports, and the school workload. Mrs. Catlett, you have showed me so much more than derivatives, integrals, and all that I have learned with you. You have taught me to be sincere and to always work as hard as I can and to never give up. My final introduction isn't like those before it. As I realize college is approaching maybe sooner than I might like, the next I will miss the most. For you have taught me the most. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think how lucky I am to have you. Your love is the best thing in the world to me. My father, mother, and sister, you are all amazing. You all work so hard, and I am amazed at that. I love you guys so much. Before I finish my speech, I wanted to say that even though these may sound like goodbyes, they in no way are. I am so excited to still have a year remaining with not only these teachers, but with all of them. So many have impacted me, and even if I did not mention them today, I will most definitely be thanking them this year. I wanted to say my last thank you to you, my fellow students and classmates, and to the class of 2014. I've learned so much from you all in 13 years, almost as much as my teachers. No matter where I go, I will definitely remember you all. I hope my introductions have shown you all Collegiate from a different angle. See, we may have students and faculty here, but everyone has a great speech to tell. I hope I have introduced some of them well today. Thank you.